Yo, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent. We're going to talk about some things that maybe I don't have any right to talk about, but I mean, that's what we do on the internet, isn't it? Like everyone on the forums of everywhere. Yeah, this is what we do. We just say words and things. I'm a shit poster. I just do it in video form. So, yeah, you saw the title. Today we're talking about the topic of MMOs just being bad. MMOs sucking. And you know, if you follow me, I tend to not really say that because I like MMOs. I really like MMOs, and I have a unique approach when it comes to the entire genre because I play the entire genre. A lot of you guys don't. And you like the idea of maybe a few MMOs, but a whole lot of you are really cynical. So generally, the idea of MMO sucking is left in your territory. That's your guys' thing. But today, I'm gonna go over to the other side of the fence, see how the grass is. It's pretty green, actually. Because there's definitely some truth there, that a lot of MMOs suck. Some people will say just modern MMOs. No, all MMOs, to probably great extent, actually freaking suck as the literal games, like the literal gameplay. Obviously, I've already done videos saying how pretty much what makes an MMO an MMO is going to be the people, the community, the in-game events, the publishing of the game, blah, blah, blah. I've been saying that so much lately. But let's just talk about why a lot of MMOs do suck. And I'm talking about this from like a lot of new MMOs too here, where we're looking at some games, and I'm not talking about the publishing. I'm not talking about them having low population. I'm not even talking about like, monetization. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about actually, if you play the games, they freaking suck. They're not good. Of course, that's super vague and everything. I'll give examples, but yeah, that's where I'm having this conversation. Is I've been looking at some games, some Kickstarter games, some newer games, and seeing how they're being developed, and I'm seeing, how people are going about making these games, and I think I know why they do suck. And I think I have a good concept here of why there's this big disconnect between the button press gameplay, like the literal gameplay, and then the publishing, the community aspect, the actual online, the thing that makes an MMO an MMO. Yeah, why there's that big disconnect between MMO and then the game. You would think it would be, it was pretty straightforward. And actually, let's talk about that misconception here, okay? So a lot of people, I've seen this in a couple of forums posts as well. It's always fun to talk about, a game that you might want to make, or some developers do go on forums and like, hey, I'm making a game, how should I go about making an MMO? And a whole lot of people who have absolutely fucking no experience at all, anywhere, anyhow, will say, well, you want to make an MMO for your first game, you probably shouldn't do that. They say that. They say these words, and you know what? That makes sense. Or it seemingly made sense. Maybe years ago. But now that I've played a lot of IO games that were made by first-time developers and seeing their massive popularity, despite being very online, consistently online, with progression systems even, and seeing all these other online games coming up and just blowing up, doing so amazing, fantastically, it's making me feel pretty weird here that, I don't know, I don't think that has to be the case. And I'm bringing this up because I think more often than not, what we see from MMO development is they design the game first. Now, again, a lot of you guys are probably not following along, so let's try to condense this here. So the game that I'm talking about would be something like, let's talk about Crowfall. That's a good one, right? So Crowfall doesn't have its core MMO game loop in the game yet. It doesn't have its MMO in the game. So what the fuck is it? It just has some testing. It's got really bad net code. It looks really laggy and floaty. It doesn't have the actual MMO yet. So what they're trying to build is like put in the classes, put in, like the aesthetic, the design, and they're trying to kind of build it like it was a single player game and then make it an MMO. I don't think that's the way it should really work. Let's just kind of think about this. Would you make a competitive esport game as a single player game first? What? Huh? Would you do that? I mean, if your end goal was an esport game, would you not first and foremost design it around being multiplayer and head-to-head and competitive, and you want to have like that good netcode and the optimization? Like those are the things that are going to make the game competitive. You're not going to be playing in a competitive FPS at 30 frames per second. So Yeah, you need to have that good netcode. You need to have that competitive mechanics. You wouldn't design it as a single player game. That just doesn't make sense. And we can actually see this with games now completely fragmenting and having their games. You have the campaign, the multiplayer, or now the new Call of Duty not even gonna have the campaign because they want to focus on the multiplayer, the competitive. And to an extent, that's a loss, but it's also a good thing. If a developer knows what they need to focus on, they cut out all the trimmings and they just focus on it. It could be good. Hey, it could be fucking bad. We don't know, but I think more often than not, if you look at the most popular games on the planet, they do have a streamlined focus. Even games that are supposed to be wide, like I guess World of Warcraft, actually has funneled its focus. And it's changing it around with a new expansion, but still, regardless. We have all these games. League of Legends is, that's the League of Legends. You're gonna play on basically the one map. I know there's a couple others, but the one map, these are the characters, and there's a lot of stuff in that, but that, they focus on that gameplay. It's okay, itemization, the RPG mechanics, the 5v5, pretty much. That's gonna be what it is. So the most popular games have that tunnel vision focus, and then as they expand the game, they might literally go horizontally, more vertically, whatever. They go in different directions sometimes, but the foundation, that's what they do. That's their foundation. And that's how they move forward. So when it comes to making an MMO, you want to make an MMO. In my opinion, you should make the freaking MMO. If you want to have a massively multiplayer online game, please and thank you, can you actually have the MMO in your testing? Can you actually give us, the slices of MMO? So you're seeing a lot of these MMOs have these trailers where it's just like a cinematic. Okay, we've dealt with that before. That's not too shady. But then the actual gameplay after the cinematic, the actual gameplay is like them walking through a town of NPCs. I don't know, or just a dungeon. They're just doing a dungeon. So 4 other people, or it's just a 1v1 duel. These little things, like you just see them fighting 1 or 2 monsters in the open world, or they're doing these tiny little things that's trying to show off what the graphics are, trying to show off maybe what the combat kind of can be like, but that's not really an MMO. You're showing me the little mechanics, the tools that players will use in the MMO, but if you want to show me gameplay of your MMO, you need to show me MMO gameplay. You need to show me the sieges, the raids. You need to show like the big epic stuff, the open world, like actually traversing it and traveling through it. You need to show me those proper RPG mechanics and how they interact. I guess you could say like in Guild Wars 2 commercials, you could actually see like the big PvP world versus world. You actually saw the big monster fights, the big open world questing. Same thing with Elder Scrolls Online. The sieges were so epic, and a couple of these games really know how to show trailers and really know how to show gameplay. Of course, they have a number of different kind of trailers, which is great, but then you see stuff like Crowfall, which is, I think, really missing the mark. It's not really showing what I think it really should be like. It's really just teasing, and that's kind of sucky. And I think that if you actually got into the game and played it, you would know that it just doesn't have the core game loop. It just isn't a proper MMO. A lot of games just, I think to an extent, yeah, like literally you do need to have something playable. You do need some mechanics in order to call it a game and then make it online. But these games are taking far too long to actually get to their proper MMO portion. They're taking way too long to actually realize, oh fuck, our netcode is shit, man. We got ping issues all over the place. Oh no, we have a lot of glitches here and there. This is not good. This combat feels bad. Man, if only we, designed the game with the concept that we were gonna be an MMO from the beginning. Yeah, so it goes hand in hand. If you're gonna make a game in a genre, then that is your foundation, not your potential. That is your foundation. Your potential is to then eventually make your own genre, right? So, like, I love using this example, but I know you guys hate comparisons of this nature, but Dark Souls, yeah. Dark Souls is my Bible. Dark Souls is a game that just, it had a foundation and then it went so fucking bonkers. It went so radically different and out there. Same thing with Minecraft. It actually wasn't too unique. Its foundation, its concept. There's some other games that did it and were attempting it, but then you saw where it went from that, right? So what makes these games unique is they have this one little gimmick. Sure, they have these little gameplay mechanics, but they do focus on that concept of, okay, this is what we are doing, but then that's not where we're going. what we're doing now is not the end product. That is not where we're going. In an MMO, which is supposed to be a living, breathing thing, it's supposed to be something that's constantly expanding. The concept should absolutely not. You should not be designing a game with the concept, oh, we will eventually really fulfill the idea of an MMO. Fucking no. You start with the idea of the fulfillment of the MMO, and then from there, you make your own world, your own concept, your own genre from there. You know, MMO, strategy game, MMO, FPS. You saw Planetside, did that. So a lot of games can really grow and be unique and special and just solid if they design themselves hand in hand with the concept that they will be an MMO. Now, whether that's hard or easy, I don't give a fuck, because all of these people saying this stuff like, oh, you should design a game this way, you should design a game this way. No, dude, you know what? I'm going to be the one guy to say, fuck you. No, I don't agree. I don't agree, because there's more examples of what you guys are saying, just average random people on the internet. You guys are just saying, design a game this way. There's more examples of that way failing, having critical non-success, and just really not really doing anything, not doing much of anything. So yeah, my opinion, you're gonna make an MMO, that's your foundation, that's where you start, that's not the end goal. But I would love to know your thoughts and feelings, guys, on the modern MMO culture. This was just a shitpost, a rant and ramble, but yeah, absolutely, it's a conversation, open dialogue. Join us in the Discord, and if you want to talk with me live, I'll be streaming at twitch.tv/Skylent, probably playing an online game, or 2, or an MMO, or 3, 5 million. Let me know what games you want to see played, and let me know what you want to talk about. All right, guys, that's it. Have fun. I'll see you in the next one.